Christ, anyways.
God damn, arguing with me before the show even fucking starts.
Fuck!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe. Argumentative bastard. And with us as well as your Lord of Penny. Say hi, Satsu.
I'm here too.
I am your Lord of Pain, the ranting monkey, and boy, am I living up to... I fell today, man.
Oh, down the stairs or just in general?
No, just a general. I was... Lady Monkey went to the store, and when she got home, I helped her bring stuff in. I took my shoes off, took my right shoe off, planted my right foot, took my left shoe off, went to plant that, and it wasn't there, man. Whew, I felt hard. I felt hard as a motherfucker. But we'll get to that later. Scribbles, how you doing tonight?
I am all right. It was a very, very busy day at work, but overall a productive day. And surprisingly, I was even productive after I got home, which kind of surprised me. But I went and got my ears lowered today.
Ah.
Yeah. I love using that phrase to see how many people get confused by it. So
that's how I've actually heard lots of people use it. Older people, of course.
Yeah. Well, I first heard it from my grandfather, and so it just kind of stuck. So, you know, it was an inherited boomerism, let's say.
There you go. Satsu, how you doing, man?
I've been better. I feel like shit, but the day wasn't bad. So, well, the day was annoying, not bad, just annoying.
Hang on, I gotta close Kerbal. I forgot to close the damn thing. Get off my screen, you little green bastards.
Yeah, before the show, Monkey was flying in space. During the show, he's just gonna get high.
Yeah, I accidentally double took my medicine right before the show. Oops. These things happen. Look. If nothing else, it'll provide for a fun show.
Oh, that's one way of putting it. What are the health effects of you overdosing on this stuff again?
If you just take a little bit extra, it just makes you really tired.
Oh, okay.
A little loopy.
Maybe you'll sleep better.
A little loopy. Yeah. Just let it happen.
Yeah. Is Lady Monkey going to take advantage of you tonight?
Probably not.
Oh.
She's not feeling very well.
Oh, no. Okay.
It's this weather, man. It's just garbage.
Oh, tell me about it. At least on my side of the country.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button and do it. Do it now. Share our stuff, guys, because YouTube doesn't like to point us out, even though I feel, I thought about this last night. I wonder how many people out there are on YouTube as much as I am. In the last year, how many people have been on YouTube, actually here, not playing some music all night long or some shit like that, actually here, producing programming as much as I am?
Oh, well, no, that's a thing. There's plenty of people that have YouTube on constantly listening or watching this stuff. You're talking about actual like broadcasting?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be surprised there are many people that do 3 or 4 different 2-hour plus live streams a day on YouTube.
All I'm saying is I deserve a little monkey on rewind. That's all. I don't want. They don't need like my voice or anything. Although you should. YouTube, listen to this sexy fucking voice. Why wouldn't you want that? Anyway. Thank you, Point Curation, who says, does shit posting count? Not exactly. Not what I'm talking about.
I mean, it is content creation.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's scripting.
Is it too much to ask to put my little monkey on there?
Your little monkey?
Come on, YouTube. YouTube.
You want your little monkey on YouTube Rewind?
Look, they want to put my dick on Rewind. I'd let them. Like, hell yeah. We have a birthday before we start.
Do we?
We do. Mama Satsu's birthday's today.
Oh, well, then that means I'm going to have to sing legitimately. Because we're talking royalty here.
I am singing like I normally sing because that's what I do.
I just text her to see if she's watching. I don't know if she is or not.
Oh, let's find out if she's watching first, because I'd rather.
If she's not watching, tell her she just has to watch for a minute.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't want to start a story and then have to pause in the middle of it. So
Well, I know, but so we can kibitz for a minute before we find out if she's watching, and then if she is, we can start singing.
indeed. But it was this beautiful woman who led to Squeedus. So that's a wonderful thing.
By extension, that's true.
Just jump right over me, huh?
Well, yeah.
Well, by extension,
That's a extensive.
look, without your mom, and look, I love you, but come on, it's Squeedus.
Squeedus.
You've seen her you see her all day. You know what I'm talking about.
Indeed, she was
What you do is not called singing. What? Sean,
Hey.
go sit in the corner.
She was blowing raspberries with Squishy earlier. It was so funny.
My son sent me a Snapchat today, and there was a little a banner across it that said, "When people say that that I act immature, and it's my granddaughter sitting in a diaper in a doctor's office just doing raspberries for like a minute and a half."
Oh, peanut.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, pumpkin.
Oh, pumpkin. Oh, okay. I forget who's who now.
Yeah. Yeah, just
pumpkin.
sitting there naked. Just naked. Yeah, they thought she might have an ear infection. She's just teething again.
Oh, okay, that's good. Well, I mean, it's
Teething,
not good.
man, is a bitch.
Not
Wait
good for the baby. but-
Satsu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When Squeedus gets teeth, teethless.
Satsu, bring your ass back here. Tell your mom to get here.
Yeah.
If not, she can watch and rewind. By the way, guys, remember #monkey on rewind at YouTube.
Yeah. Also at YouTube. on that
Hashtag-
one.
Yes, you have to put the at YouTube because they need to see it. Is she watching, Satsu?
I just called her and she said she about to log in now. So
All right, get on here, beautiful.
momentarily.
And I don't know if y'all know this, but Satsu's mom has a nice ass.
No.
Let's make Satsu uncomfortable.
Don't blame me. She does. She showed me.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah, Satsu has a nice ass too. If you guys haven't seen, it's very nice.
I don't get up.
It runs in the family.
I don't think I've ever seen Satsu doing anything but sitting. Well, I guess now the cooking videos he's walking around a bit.
Yeah, pay attention to that badonkadonk, man.
I'll refrain.
Look at
Thanks.
that junk in his trunk. It's all up in there.
No, thank you.
Gorebag says, "Damn monkey, you went there. This is not the first time I've been there, Gorebag."
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Satsu has heard my opinion of his mom's butt before. In fact, I have said it to her myself.
Yeah, directly to her. As a matter of fact, it was upon request.
Yeah. Sanguine, thank you so much over on the Streamlabs. You can't even say monkey in chat because they can't imagine it not being a slur, and you want them to have a little monkey on rewind. You know they are going to misunderstand, and you'll just end up with a black midget, right?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, you're not
here.
wrong.
She's here.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
Mama
Oh.
Satsu, hello, sweetheart.
Mama
Happy
Satsu.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, let me get a little bit of water here.
Okay.
Scribe singing voice for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Satsu, around here for birthdays, we do this, and this one is especially for you. And a 1, and a 2.
Happy birthday to
you.
Happy birthday, Mama.
Happy birthday to
you.
I hope you had a good day.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear Mama Satsu.
Love you, Mama.
Happy
birthday
to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mama Satsu. I hope you had a great one. I really, really do.
Look at look at the emoji.
She's not quite sure if she likes it.
She doesn't know what's going
But,
on. Let's get
Got
started.
mixed feelings.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So
Tears
do
of happiness. Tears of happiness. That's what those are.
Speaking of tears of happiness, Scribbles, we got news tonight.
Yeah. So I made a comment before the stream started that there's been an attack on Pearl Harbor, and any other day that might be kind of funny given the approaching anniversary, but no, we've actually had a shooting at Pearl Harbor. Security forces at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam responded Wednesday to a reported shooting at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. The incident occurred at 2:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, and access to the base is closed. The Queens Medical Center in Honolulu has received one patient from the incident. Mina Sugimoto, a spokeswoman for the Queens Health System, told CNN. Sugimoto said no other details are available at this time. I have seen details elsewhere about what happened, so let me. I thought CNN would have them, but apparently not. Let me see. Because I've heard something like okay, there we go. There's something a bit more. Let's see, 3 injured, and then they go to an ad. Okay, great. Multiple gunshot victims have been reported following an active shooting situation at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. The shooter has been secured, according to reports, and communications director of Honolulu says there is no longer an active threat on the base. I read somewhere, and again, guys, tenuous information. The whoever this was went in there, shot some people, unknown what their statuses are, but then turned the gun on themselves. I guess this is still developing. As you know, details are. I'll refresh the story as the night goes on to see if we get more details.
Yeah, old guy gamer in chat said secured. I heard he suicided. Well, I mean, if he suicided, he is secure.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seen Epstein touch anybody since he suicided.
Yeah. So, like I say, I'll keep refreshing the story, and as things develop, I'll let you know. But yeah, not the funnest way to start off the evening. So let's follow up that tragedy with another, because we have our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza.
Oh, man.
A walking tragedy if I ever saw one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the point with the Cillizard. 9 takeaways from the House Judiciary Committee's first impeachment hearing. Now, I didn't watch any of the impeachment hearings, so except for the little bits and pieces I've grabbed from things people have posted on Twitter, I don't really know all of what went on. So, Monkey, did you watch any of this today?
I did. I watched quite a bit of it.
Okay. Satsu, you watch any of this today?
No.
Okay, well, then it'll be a learning experience for Satsu and I, and Monkey can give us his take in either agreement or opposition to whatever Chris Cillizza has to say. On Wednesday morning, the House Judiciary Committee convened its first hearing in the impeachment investigation into President Donald Trump, bringing in 4 constitutional lawyers to debate what exactly constitutes high crimes and misdemeanors and whether the president had committed any of those acts. Given the ambiguity of the phrase and the original intentions of the founders, anything can be a high crime and misdemeanor as committed by the president, even if it's not something that technically counts as the crime in any other area of life. That's Scribe talking, because that is actually the case. But anyway, I watched the hearing, this is Chris talking, and identified key moments and takeaways in real time. There below. His first takeaway, guys, are you ready for this?
No.
It was a long day. 6 O's in long. Just so you know, 6 O's.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm not even going to bother reading what's below that because it all adds up to that phrase. So I'll move on. Next one. Jerry Nadler explains why impeachment needs to be considered now. Okay. In his opening statement, Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler, a New York Democrat, sought to address the biggest question Democrats face when it comes to the ongoing impeachment process. Why now, especially when Trump will be up for re-election in less than a year? Quote, "We are all aware that the next election is looming, but we cannot wait for the election to address the present crisis," Nadler said. Quote, "The integrity of that election is the very thing at stake. The president has shown us his pattern of conduct. If we do not act to hold him in check, Now, President Trump will almost certainly try again to solicit interference in the election for his personal political benefit, unquote. Back to Chris. In short, we can't wait because there is every reason to believe that. Okay, Chris, he just said that. You don't need to restate the obvious from the quote, but I guess you need to get in the last word or something. So, yeah. So Nadler is saying that to allow the if you believe that what Trump did on the phone call was bad, then a precedent needs to be set now because Trump is actively attempting to abuse his power. Ta-da! There you go.
There's a great moment. They took a break. What was it, like 1:15, 1:30? I forget exactly. Like an hour break, something like that, to go vote in the Senate or in the House, because there's votes that happen today too.
Right.
And Eric Swalwell goes up to the microphone where they're allowed to make their little statements. Real quick, thank you so much. Point curation. What is Obama endorsing Justin Trudeau? I know. Yes. I mean, Obama's. Good night, baby. I love you. Our presidents have endorsed candidates before, and that's meddling, but shh, just let it happen. Anyway, so Swalwell gets up there and he gives this little ridiculous statement, and then somebody asks him because the Republican guy, the one who was there for the Republicans, I forget his name. He was asked, or he was talking about, you're rushing it. There's no need to rush this. In fact, it's probably a bad thing to rush this. And so Swalwell was asked, why are you guys rushing this? Why are you doing it so fast? And Swalwell answers, because the election's coming up fast. Like, yeah, we all know that's why you're doing it, Eric, but you're not supposed to be saying that out loud.
Well, I mean, Nadler kind of conceded to that as well.
Except for Nadler made it sound like they were doing it to stop Trump rather than to get it done before the primaries.
Okay.
Real quick, MR Costin over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much. Trump called Trudeau two-faced but nice. How dare he lie about Trudeau being a nice guy?
Do you mean WR, not MR?
No, it says MR.
What?
I didn't do it. It says MR.
MR Costin?
Yeah, like Mr. Costin.
Are there two Costins?
It may be the same person who just typed their name different this time.
What?
It's over on Streamlabs. You can put in whatever name you want to.
Does the Emperor have an evil twin?
They could put it in so that Scribe Light was donating to me all night.
Oh, dear God.
If y'all wanted to, wink, wink.
Let's see. Chris's next takeaway. Republicans ignore facts, focus on the why behind the impeachment push.
Thank you, Sanguine. Good to know Chris is adept at picking out key facts as he is correcting grammar and spelling errors and making sure a story is easy to read and isn't needlessly convoluted, or in other words, being an editor.
Yeah. Georgia Representative Doug Collins, the ranking Republican on the House Judiciary Committee, used his opening statement not to dispute the basic facts surrounding the July 25th phone call between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, but rather to trace the origins of calls for the president to be impeached. Quote, "This is not an impeachment," Collins said. "This is just a simple railroad job, and today's hearing is a waste of time. It didn't start with Robert Mueller. It didn't start with a phone call. It started with tears in Brooklyn in November 2016, unquote. Which means, in the case you somehow missed it, a reference to Hillary Clinton losing the 2016 presidential election." Really? Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. The next takeaway. One witness smacks down Doug Collins bigly. Because Chris is an infant.
Real quick over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Scribe Light, who says pee pee poo poo.
Wow. How childish of me. In Collins's opening statement, he repeatedly took a dismissive tone towards the quartet of law professors sitting before him. Quote, "We got law professors here," he joked at the end of his opening statement. "What a start of a party. unquote. One of the four, Stanford law professor Pam Carlin, took considerable umbrage at Collins's dismissals. Quote, everything I know about our Constitution and its values and my review of the evidentiary record, and here, Mr. Collins, I would like to say to you, sir, that I read transcripts of every one of the witnesses who appeared in the live hearing because I would not speak about these things without reviewing the facts, so I'm insulted by the suggestion that as a law professor, I don't care about those facts, unquote. Carlin scolded the Georgia Republican. Collins looked as though he wanted to say something, but he didn't interrupt Carlin. Oh, so he was polite. Okay.
Yeah, he let her have her little temper tantrum. We had 4 witnesses today up there for they got there at 10. They left around 7, getting close to 8 o'clock, actually. And they had several breaks in between. Nadler has to pee a lot. 4 law professors who have nothing to add to this case other than their opinion of whether it's an impeachable offense. And it took that goddamn long.
Yeah, and the next thing he has on here is a very interesting bit that if I'm reading it correctly, is interesting. So there were 4 lawyers, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Jonathan Turley is a very good witness for Republicans. Turley, a law professor at George Washington University, is the lone GOP witness among the 4 professors. So three of the four professors were democratically called witnesses.
Yes. Say that right, Chris. The only one that was allowed.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What has made him effective in the hearing, however, is his calm and reasoned appeals to rise above the current partisanship of the moment. Turley made clear in his opening statement that he didn't vote for Trump, and he didn't believe that Trump's call with Zelensky was perfect, as Trump had said. He also admitted to being frustrated at the current situation in Washington. Those admissions made his insistence stronger that there wasn't enough evidence yet to impeach Trump, and that the whole process would be better if everyone slowed down, took a deep breath, and thought of the ramifications of their actions. Turley turned out to be everything and more Republicans had hoped.
It wasn't just that. One of the best things that Turley talked about was slowing down so that you get it right. Pointing out how long Nixon's took and how long Clinton's took. They weren't rushed like this one is being.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying, look, you might actually even have a case, but you haven't proven it yet. You may be missing something that will make it okay. Yes. Excuse me. I'm so sorry that this needs to be done. He scolded everybody up there, not just the Democrats. He's like, all of you guys, you're just acting partisan. And you need to put that shit away. And it really made the other 3 look bad because the other 3 witnesses were quite clearly partisan. And he's just like, look, you need to settle down. We're talking about removing a president, for fuck's sake. That was all he was saying.
Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip a couple of these and get down to the at least 2 that I heard sort of peripherally. Nadler's own words come back to haunt him. Nadler was a prominent defender of Bill Clinton during the late 1990s when House Republicans impeached the former president for lying under oath about his relationship with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. At the time, Nadler argued that impeachment should never be pursued if only one party favored it because it would deeply divide the nation. Ohio Republican Representative Steve Chabot, in one of the best moments for the GOP in the hearing, reminded Nadler of how much a difference a few decades make. Chabot read a series of Nadler quotes from the late 1990s, noting that he agreed with the version of Nadler and wondering what, other than the president's party, had changed. Nadler chose not to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's this one, which was, I guess, this is the biggest sort of viral whatever I've seen lately. The Barron versus Barron controversy.
Mm-hmm.
As the afternoon session began, Carlin, that was the lawyer, because Chris can't give us full names anymore. Carlin was asked by one of the Democratic committee members to elucidate the differences between a king and a president as a way to more broadly explain why the founding fathers included the impeachment clause in the Constitution. She responded this way, quote, "The Constitution says there can be no titles of nobility, so while the president can name his son Baron, he can't make him a baron," unquote. First Lady Melania Trump took umbrage to the reference to her teenage son. Quote, "A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics," she tweeted. "Pamela Karlan, you should be ashamed of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it," unquote. Later, Karlan apologized. Quote, "I want to apologize for what I said earlier about the president's son," she said. Quote, "It was wrong of me to do that. I wish the president would apologize for the things he's done that's wrong, but I do regret having said that," unquote. That's not what a great apology there. What a wonderful apology.
It went so well, and then they invalidated the whole thing.
Yeah, you're a learned constitutional scholar, and that is your apology. Good job.
Well, as Prospero said in chat there, this was such an orchestrated act of stupidity. It was. That's not something she came up with off the top of her head. And the apology just made it worse.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding?
Non-apology.
Yeah, and see, that's what I said if you watch these, the three lawyers that the Democrats brought up there, they are quite clearly partisan. Quite clearly, as you see in that, I wish Donald Trump would apologize for the things he's done. Yeah, that's not partisan at all there. And the other guy, Turley, I just call him Republican guy because he was a Republicans guy. He didn't take a side other than I don't think we have enough to impeach here. That was his whole thing. Not that we shouldn't keep it. He even said it should be investigated. Yeah, you just made yourself look so much worse. So much worse.
Well, I mean, if the complaint was using the president's son to push a political point, your apology did the exact same thing.
Yep.
So,
yeah, there were some people taking this whole outrage thing a little too far. We'll talk about it more at Fuck At Your Time, but people were literally saying, "She attacked his son," and I'm like, no, she didn't.
it was a low blow, but it wasn't that awful.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, she referenced him, but it wasn't an attack. Calm down, people.
So I got a couple other stories. I'll try to whip through them relatively quickly.
Hold it real quick, and I want to get to all of them. We can. I know you have your format now. We'll tweak it a little bit because it's a impeachment day, but we have a birthday.
Birthday.
Is it? Do you say it Fulla or Fula? It's Fulla.
Fulla Malarkey? Is that who it is?
Oh, yeah, it's Fulla Malarkey. So Fulla, there it is. It says, any chance of a birthday song for a third year in a row from my favorite lords? Of course. Absolutely.
Favorite lords? How many do you have?
Well, who cares? They're lesser than us.
Yeah, we're the favorite.
I suppose.
So Fulla, absolutely, this one's for you. And a 1. And a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Well now.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, you still happy about this?
Happy birthday, dear Fulla Malarkey.
English, please.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Fulla Malarkey. I hope you had a great one. I really, really do. You said we had a couple more stories. What we got?
Yeah, some interesting headlines here. So let's finish off the political stuff, at least for a moment. Key Robert Mueller witness charged with funneling contributions to Clinton campaign.
Oops.
8 people, including a longtime political networker and a CEO, have been indicted on charges of funneling money illegally into Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign and other political groups. George Nader, that is not Nadler or Ralph Nader, I don't think, but Nader, who has for 4 decades hobnobbed with political elites and became a key Mueller cooperator, and allied wallet CEO Ahmed Andy Khawaja are accused of sending millions to political committees and hiding Nader as its source, with Nader allegedly reporting to a Middle Eastern government on the effort. According to Federal Election Commission records and details in the indictment, the money primarily went towards backing Clinton's 2016 campaign efforts. Though Clinton and her affiliated campaign finance groups are unnamed in the indictment, the money primarily went to her campaign. according to a source familiar with the investigation and campaign finance records. Attorneys for the Clinton campaign, the Democratic Party, and Bill and Hillary Clinton did not respond to requests for comment on Wednesday. The other conspirators are alleged to have been part of Khawaja's donation scheme, which allowed him to exceed campaign finance limits, according to the indictment. Nader, specifically, is accused of sending more than, how much money do you think he sent through?
$1 million.
Satsu?
3 million.
$3.5 million through Khawaja to political committees so they could gain access to then candidate Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Ouch.
Now I find it if I'm staying or leaving for work. Sorry.
Satsu's always best at guessing these corruption numbers. I feel like he's in on something.
No, Satsu just has very little faith in people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quote, it was a purpose of the conspiracy for Nader and Khawaja to use their access to candidate one. Okay, that's the legal code name here, apparently, to gain favor with and potential financial support from the government of foreign country A. Okay. You think Qatar or Saudi Arabia?
Oh, probably one of those two. I'm not sure which.
The contributions were disguised, so Nader's involvement was hidden, the Justice Department said. At one point, Khawaja hosted a Clinton campaign fundraiser at his home featuring Bill Clinton because Khawaja had contributed almost $1 million in contributions to the campaign. He hosted other political events too, according to the indictment. Here's the other thing. And through his company, Khawaja donated $1 million to the Donald Trump Inaugural Committee, securing inauguration tickets for himself, Nader, and another conspirator, the indictment said. None of alleged conspirators. How about none of the? None of the, maybe? None of alleged conspirators have entered pleas in D.C. District Court where they were charged.
Thank you, Frosted Glass, who says, whole lot of people about to get sad. Hashtag NGZN.
Well, here's the part that is relevant to the Mueller investigation. In the Mueller investigation, Nader had become a key cooperator and had given extensive information about his contact with a Russian and the Trump campaign. The special counsel's office investigators had asked questions about Nader's political networking, some of which touched on the new set of allegations, according to a source familiar with the investigation. Separately, Nader was charged with transporting child porn after he finished his cooperation with Mueller. He has pleaded not guilty and is in jail as the case progresses. Okay.
This same scheme happened with the Chinese with Bill Clinton, so I don't know. I mean, just get a slap on the hand for it if they find out that they did it or that they were involved at all.
What outlet wrote about this? What was the source for this?
Oh, it was CNN, and they were reading from the indictment.
Okay. That's interesting.
Let's see. This headline caught my eye. A woman lied on her resume to land a $185,000 a year job. Now she's going to jail.
Wait, why?
I don't know. A woman who lied on her resume and faked glowing references to land a high-paying job with an Australian regional government has been sentenced to at least a year in prison. Veronica Hilda Thieralt, if I'm saying that correctly, 46, was convicted Tuesday of deception, dishonesty, and abuse of public office relating to her 2017 application for the Chief Information Officer role, which came with an annual salary of 270,000 Australian dollars or 185,000 US dollars. Thieralt worked in the position with South Australia's Department of the Premier and Cabinet for over a month and earned about 33,000 Australian dollars or $22,500 before being fired. She pleaded guilty to all charges and received a 25-month sentence with a non-parole period of a year. The court heard that she submitted a fraudulent resume to the department with false information relating to her education and prior employment. After she was granted an interview, she also posed as a previous employer during a reference check, in which she gave, quote, glowing feedback about her own performance.
What's the date on this story?
December 4th, 2019.
This sounds so familiar. Did we cover the original when she was arrested?
It's possible. I don't know.
It does sound like a story we've talked about before, but
yeah. So maybe I know it wasn't in December, or I know it wasn't today. So yeah, maybe this is what she got the. Yeah, you don't. If you're gonna look, guys, if you're gonna lie on a resume, don't do it for a government job. For fuck's sake, are you insane?
Yeah, lying to government officials is a little bit worse than lying to the guy down at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the last one I got, I heard on the radio this morning, nearly 700,000 people will lose food stamps with USDA work requirement change.
Oops.
The Trump administration Wednesday formalized work requirements for recipients of food stamps, a move that will cause hundreds of thousands of people to lose access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Agricultural Secretary Sonny Perdue and Brandon Lips, the Deputy Undersecretary for the USDA's Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services, spent about 18 minutes on a call with reporters outlining the changes to the rule that will take effect April 1st. Excuse me. Quote, "We're taking action to reform our SNAP program in order to restore the dignity of work to a sizable segment of our population and be respectful of the taxpayers who fund the program," Perdue said. "Americans are generous people who believe it is their responsibility to help their fellow citizens when they encounter a difficult stretch. That's the commitment behind SNAP, but like other welfare programs, it was never intended to be a way of life." Unquote. The USDA rule change affects people between the ages of 18 and 49 who are childless and not disabled. Under the current rules, this group is required to work at least 20 hours a week for more than 3 months over a 36-month period to qualify for food stamps, but states have been able to create waivers for areas that face high unemployment. The new rule would limit states from waiving those standards, instead restricting their use to those areas that have a 6% unemployment rate or higher. The national unemployment rate in October was 3.6%. During the call Wednesday, the USDA said that about 688,000 people would lose access to food stamps. That's down from its earlier estimate that 750,000 people would be affected. The USDA said this was an extension of President Donald Trump's April 2018 executive order called, quote, "reducing poverty in America by promoting opportunity and economic mobility." I'm trying to see if this spells something. Because whenever like a title of an act or something comes out, I'm always like, what do the first letters spell?
Right.
It doesn't spell anything as far as I can see. Oh, wait. RPA poem. POEM. Anyway, let's see. I was just say I don't know.
No, you're fine. I'm not judging.
I'm looking for secret messages in the Trump administration.
I'm judging, but I'm not judging.
Okay. Anyway, so that happened, or is on course to happen in April.
so
in chat, Circus did tell us that we did cover the arrest story of that chick from the last one.
Okay.
I thought she sounded familiar. I don't have problems with work requirements for, especially we're not talking about families here. Like you're saying, go get a fucking job. It's a safety net, not a hammock. Damn it.
Well, it was funny because, I heard about it and I'm looking through my Facebook and I see a whole bunch of people with their little comments of disapproval. Like, this is fucking bullshit, man. Fuck Trump. And I'm just like, 90% of the people who I'm scrolling down this list seeing who are mad, y'all all got jobs.
Yeah.
Like, all of y'all work. What the fuck are you talking? You don't even know what the whole situation is. You just see a fucking headline and get mad. I'm like, it's for people without kids and people who aren't disabled. Why are you not fucking working anyway? And then they're even making accommodations for people in low, employment rate areas.
Mm-hmm.
Which they don't even have to take that extra step. That's just making sure. Well, what about people who can't get a job? Oh, there you go. They got a measure in place for people who have a hard time finding a job. But if you're working, it has nothing to do with you. But here you are, mad on the internet like a fucking sheep, like everybody else, because you're too stupid to read the article in front of you, and you just want to get mad about some shit. It's fucking dumb. Anyway, that was my rant.
That's all the stories I had.
All right. With that, guys, we're going to come on to MSS News. I know we're a little bit late tonight, but if you have messages, if you have stories you want us to read, send us. I crack myself up.
You need to get
It hurts me that you're not laughing. Send them over to the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's just because Nadler's a fat dick.
This wasn't sent to us, but it just popped up in the trending Twitter feed, and I have to read this because if this isn't excellence in trolling, then it's just a happy accident, I guess. Receiver at Colin Kaepernick's NFL workout lands a job with Washington. Jordan Vesey, who is seen catching deep balls in viral clips of Colin Kaepernick's recent NFL-sanctioned audition, received a call from Washington and was signed to their practice squad. Kaepernick still does not have a job in the league.
That's funny.
That is fucking hilarious. That's brilliant. Hopefully the guy is being hired because he's good and not just to throw shade at Kaepernick. But if it is at least in part to throw shade at Kaepernick, bravo.
That's funny. I hope it was to throw shade at that little shit.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to MSS News. If I don't lose my voice here. Let's see. This one comes from Desert Tramp. Let's see. Arizona bill would require students to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, nope. Don't do that. An Arizona lawmaker, one guy, okay, wants to make it harder for school children to avoid saying the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning. Well, it's going to fail, so. Republican Representative John Fillmore of Apache Junction introduced legislation that would require students to recite the pledge each morning unless a parent excuses them. Okay. Along with this, schools would also be required to set aside at least a minute each day for, quote, quiet reflection and moral reasoning, unquote.
Pardon?
Prayer.
Hey, John Fillmore, go fuck yourself.
Sorry, man. First Amendment, you can't force people to say something.
Yeah, sorry. You don't. That's in a nation. You aren't forced to make a Pledge of Allegiance. You can if you want. You can sit down if you'd like. It's a tradition, one that isn't necessarily practiced in every school, but that's free speech. There you go.
Hey, Scribbles.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently 9 months ago, lots of people were fucking. We have another birthday.
Oh boy, what voice shall I use this time?
It is nothing for you here's birthday, and nothing. This one is for you. And a 1, and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
There's nothing for you here.
Happy birthday to you.
Don't search. You'll find nothing.
Happy birthday, dear nothing.
I'm serious.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, nothing for you here. I hope you had a great one. Yeah, we've had three birthdays. It's awesome, man. I love singing.
Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass, which itself comes from the Mary Sue.
Oh, yay.
Let's talk about the fat joke in the Black Widow trailer.
Wait, what? Hold on. I think you cut out a little bit there.
I heard it. The fat joke in the Black Widow trailer?
Yes.
I don't remember one. Oh
my God, really?
Yeah. When she comments that David Harbour has gotten fat since he put that suit on.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Marvel has an interesting relationship with their male characters gaining weight. I say male because it is seemingly only the men who are allowed to have weight gain in Marvel movies and in Hollywood in general. It started with Thor in Avengers Endgame, and now it seems that Alexei, the Red Guardian, David Harbour, is the latest target of fat jokes in the trailer for Black Widow. When Alexei tries on his Red Guardian suit, Melina, Rachel Weisz, makes a comment about him getting fat. We don't know much about these characters and their relationship. That's because you guys don't give a shit about comic books, but hey, what do I know? But including this line in a trailer seems like a strange choice, especially considering that Marvel has an interesting relationship with making jokes about weight gain when it concerns their male characters.
How's it a joke? He got fat. She just said that you got fat.
It is an observable fact that from the last time he put on that suit, and it is suggested that he was at one time a much more svelte individual, which the Red Guardian was. If you know anything, the Red Guardian was the Russia's answer to Captain America back in the old comic books. It was like the Russian Captain America. That's what he was. It was their attempt at making a super soldier. Before they attempted to make a Weapon X out of Omega Red, but that's a completely different story.
Real quick, Snubber, thank you so much. Who says it's a guy, they don't really care.
Yeah. See, guys aren't freaking out about it. But you are on behalf of guys, I guess, and not on behalf of women who should be getting fat as well.
Yeah, American Kelp. No, he says, wait, they're complaining about fat women not getting fat jokes. No. They're complaining that women don't get fat.
Yeah. That Black Widow isn't obese is the problem. I don't even really want to read the rest of this because it's like seven paragraphs of bullshit that somebody put out to get paid or get clicks. And I clicked on it. But hey, ad block.
It wasn't even a joke, for fuck's sake.
It was an observation. That's it. It was an observation. It was also a nudge into his ego that he was displaying by going like, "Aha, it still fits" or whatever.
Yeah,
that's it. Or a ribbing, as it were. Let's see. Three-Sided Coin sent us the story about the Mueller witness.
Oh, wait. We forgot to say the obligatory statement. Men get fat, women most affected.
Yeah. Somebody in chat had said that.
This one comes from Peter Stewart. And it's a happy story. Well, I mean, happy in the outcome, I guess. Nova Scotia girl earns bravery award for saving family from van that plunged into river.
Damn, good for her.
Halifax, 6-year-old Sophia Grace LeBlanc and 2 siblings were in a van driven by their mother in November 2018 when the vehicle left the highway near Little River, Nova Scotia, and plunged into a river, landing on its roof. Sophia's 2-year-old sister Elise and 4-year-old brother Ethan were trapped in the upside-down vehicle. With her little brother unconscious and her mother, Candace Hicks, badly injured, Sophia freed her sister from her seatbelt and helped her escape the van. She then climbed the embankment to flag down another motorist for help. On Wednesday, Sophia, who recently turned 8, became the youngest Nova Scotian ever to receive a Provincial Medal of Bravery. After the ceremony at the provincial legislature, Sophia was asked what she thought about receiving the award. Quote, "It's cool," the blue-eyed girl from Amherst, Nova Scotia said in a quiet voice. "I'm going to put it in my room where I can always see it," unquote. Aww. As for what happened the day the van flipped into the river, Sophia was reluctant to talk about the crash. Quote, "I saved my family," she said, clutching the blue box holding the medal. "It was hard to get my little sister, but I got her out, but I couldn't get my brother out. I climbed on my mother's back to get onto the rocks, and then I climbed up the embankment." A neighbor who witnessed the November 11th, 2018 crash used a knife to cut Ethan's seatbelt and free him from the wreckage. The children were treated for cuts and bruises while their mother needed surgery to repair her arm. Let's see. I don't know if they say what caused the crash, but there you go.
Real quick, Cody Fry, thank you. The Mary Sue can go jump off a cliff. Sincerely, a fat guy. Yeah, good for this girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool, man. Her mom can never like go clean your room, bitch. I saved your life.
That's right. You owe me a life debt, woman.
My mom used to pull the "I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it." This girl can pull I saved you in this world.
Right. Let's see. Business needs to change its name to sell beer. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Jonesboro, Arkansas. While the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board last month nixed a plan to sell booze at a Jonesboro cinema, it gave the go-ahead to several other businesses. However, one will have to change its name if it wants to sell beer. During its November meeting, the ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control, approved the following private club permit applications. Number 1, Essence Highway 18, and it gives the address of it. And then Tavolo Italian Ristorante. ABC director Dorley Chandler also approved last month several applications, including a beer on premises permit for the G-Spot. However, the permit is conditional upon the owner changing the trade name as well as repairing the business, receipt of health department approval, and installation of lighted fire exit signs with reinspection. Okay, the G-Spot is bad.
The G-Spot is a dump?
Well, it's a dump, and also apparently its name is too offensive.
Well, I get that, but it's dangerous. It doesn't have the lighting above the doors.
Yeah.
It's got to get a health inspection.
So the G-Spot's kind of dirty.
Thank you. Thank you, Snubberth, who says, Hanar life debt or Zalzbar's life debt, Scribe?
All right. Hanhar's life debt
Hanhar,
or
sorry.
Zalbar's life debt. Well, Hanhar, so Hanhar was the evil Wookiee in KOTOR 2, and Zalbar was the nice Chewbacca analog in the first KOTOR. I would say it's, let's see. Well, see, in both cases, the life debt was the Wookiee was saved by someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it depends on the temperament of the mother. Is she nice or is she mean? If she's nice, she's Zalbar. If she's mean, she's Hanhar. There you go. Let's see. What's next? This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Schiff obtained phone records of Nunez, journalist, others. And this comes from Powerline Blog. Do we have something from a more...
Oh, it was all over yesterday.
Was
there
it?
was a
Okay.
CNN article about it yesterday.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. And this is in the voice of the author, by the way. Between my day job and 3 hours on the radio, I've been mostly out of touch today. But this from Elizabeth Vaughn at Red State shocked me. Quote, Adam Schiff has crossed a line. He's obtained phone records of Devin Nunez, Nunez's aide, Rudy Giuliani, and John Solomon, unquote. Quote, the most stunning aspect of the report, to me anyway, was the inclusion of telephone records of House Intelligence Committee ranking member Devin Nunez, Nunez's aide David Harvey, President Trump's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani, and investigative reporter John Solomon. Schiff refused to say how he was able to obtain these records, unquote. Back to the author. I don't understand that. Presumably such records were obtained through legal process as opposed to computer hacking or bribery of telephone company employees. Offhand, however, I don't know what the legal basis would be for obtaining these phone records, and Schiff's refusal to comment does not inspire confidence. I also don't understand how Schiff could have obtained these records legally without the knowledge of the ranking member of his committee, Devin Nunez. John Solomon has been one of the best reporters on the subjects at issue here, and spying on his phone records reminds me of when some person or organization intruded into Cheryl Atkinson's home computer at a time when her reporting was inconvenient for the Obama administration. Then goes into some other stuff. So that's essentially it.
I'm trying to find the right here is the CNN article.
Okay.
I forget who it was. Somebody said that that it was done by subpoena. Oh, it was Eric Swalwell who said they were subpoenaed from third parties. They came from was it AT&T? Yes, AT&T gave it to them. Sanguine, thank you again. And I'm sorry if I forgot to thank you last time. I did it in chat because Scribbles was on a roll. And we love when he does that. But Sanguine, thank you so much. He says, your G-spot should be condemned. Sounds like a great insult to use.
Wah, wah.
You're not wrong. But where is it at? Armed with never-before-seen phone records, Democrats on Tuesday accused President Trump's allies of coordinating with a conservative journalist to peddle false narratives about Trump's opponents. This is, according to the Democrats on the committee, this was to show obstruction of justice by planting news stories about Ukraine being involved in the 2016 election hacking, or well, not hacking. Yeah, that's why they said they went because it's bullshit. What they did here is absolute bullshit. They should be investigated for this shit. They had no business going after phone records of this because they think stories were planted, even if they were fucking planted. So that is some dirty shit you just pulled, motherfuckers. And not many people are talking about it. Not many people are talking about it at all. But just in case you want to read it on your own, Scribbles, I'm going to throw it into the chat for everyone.
Okay.
There's the CNN article. Let's do
see.
one more. We're getting close to the end here.
Sure, we'll do this one because it sounds ridiculous. This one comes from Corey. I'm assuming Corey Suzuki, even though the Twitter handle doesn't say so. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sex-crazed Dave the Duck has his penis removed after trying to mate 10 times a day.
Told y'all ducks are rapists.
You did.
A nymphomaniac duck has had his penis removed due to his insatiable appetite for shagging the local birds.
So a regular duck.
Dave the horny duck found himself in a bit of a pickle. After trying to mate with his female pals 10 times a day, his member became injured and infected. Antibiotics.
He fucked his dick off?
Yep, he shagged his dick raw. Antibiotics and painkillers did not help deter the randy animal. Regretfully, there was only one solution: chopping his dick down to a measly centimeter. After enjoying the company of Dora, Freda, and Edith too much, Dave's owner, Josh Watson from Torquay, Devon, this is in the UK, says the duck's genitals became pretty gross. Quote, the end of his penis had basically died, and it was pretty horrific. It looked weird. It was quite worrying. It started not going in, and we'd give him a bath to keep it clean, but then the tips started going gangrenous and getting infected, so that's when we had to take him into the vet.
Do you think maybe it's because you're playing with his dick so much, dude?
Oh, God, and they have a picture. Oh,
I don't
yuck.
need to see that.
Oh, no. They're right. They're absolutely right as the description is absolutely correct. But, oh, God, I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see that. Ugh.
Johnny Blaze says, oh, God, why did I show up now?
Yeah, well.
Timing is everything, my friend. Timing is everything.
Yeah, so duck dick, the end.
I don't know. I feel like it's weird that they were checking his dick that much.
Well, it couldn't retract, so it was really just there all the time.
Well, he was still using it.
Yeah, but it was all, if you look at it, the end of it looks like it looks like a green, stony, infected thing. So it was probably not easy to miss.
He got duck herp. And with duck herp, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up MSS News Time. Thank you so much for the submission. Sorry it was cut short today. That happens sometimes if we have a big story in the news. And we did. We had impeachment today. So sorry about that. We'll get more tomorrow on Satsu's channel. Now it's time for YouTube. And speaking of Satsu, what you did on the YouTube today, my friend?
Well, I attempted to put up the videos that I was supposed to be putting up today, but for some reason, a good majority of the morning and a bit into the afternoon, my internet just wasn't working. And every time I tried to like upload, my internet would like fluctuate and it'll stop and interrupt the upload and corrupt the file. So I got annoyed and said, fuck it. And I went to sleep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I didn't end up doing what I was supposed to do today. Also, there's a whole bunch of new shit. There's more videos that I got to put out because they just released some artwork for the Resident Evil 3 remake, which is official now, which I'm pumped about because you guys saw how pumped I got about Resident Evil 2. They just showed some artwork for RE3, which is going to be in the same brand new engine, remade from the ground up. I'm pumped as fuck about that. And there's some new Monster Hunter shit coming out that I got really excited about that I wanted to do a video for, but I got annoyed with all the bullshit. So there's stuff that I have to do. I just, got annoyed and gave up today because I didn't feel good.
All right. Thank you, Point Curation, who says DuckTales. Woo. And
scientifically accurate DuckTales.
Snubber, thank you so much, who says Dark Tip Duck. Scribbles, what'd you work on today?
Well, I finished revisions of my script for my video and recorded the audio for it. It's a TED Talk, not a TEDx talk, a TED Talk. Deals with immigration, I guess. And yeah, this is one of the rare ones where simply watching 5 minutes of this presentation is enough to understand anything and everything this person is going to say for the full, whatever it was, 16 minutes of the video, because the core of their premise is fatally flawed from the get-go. And even in only the few minutes that I covered, I found myself having to repeat the same correction to what he was saying almost every time I took a pause. And after 3 or 4 iterations of this, I'm kind of like, I'm going to be doing this for 20 minutes and I don't care anymore. So I got the bulk of what he had to say in his sort of opening thesis statement, let's say, and I was pretty much done. So when you guys see the video, you're only seeing 5 minutes or so of the actual talk, but just project that same sensation you get watching this guy talk into an extra 10, 15 minutes or something, and you'll have the gist of it. So yeah, I've got the audio recorded. I think I have all the inserts I need. It's not going to be a very complicated assembly, but I'll start putting it together tomorrow. Depending on timing, I may or may not have it out before Saturday. If I don't have it out before Saturday, it certainly won't be out until at least Sunday because I got to go visit the folks. So that's what I worked on.
All right. And let's see, what did I did? I did Monkey in the Morning. Me and Jack were on last night, and about halfway through, man, I just got so goddamn tired. Normally I do a 2-hour show. I actually cut it at 1.5 because I had no idea where I even was. Did an after party this afternoon, talking about the impeachment and going over some of the stuff I'd heard, and just some of the things that they said that were just asinine. I tend to agree with the Republican guy, and again, not because of any support for Donald Trump. Just he's right when he says we should not rush the impeachment of a president. We're rushing the impeachment of a president because they have an election to get to, and it really helps them if there's an impeachment on the president. That's what it boils down to.
Well,
go ahead.
There's a fatal flaw with that.
What's
They're
that?
not rushing the impeachment of a president. They're rushing the impeachment of an evil dictator.
Yeah, I forgot that part.
Yeah, Trump's a dictator, man. He's not a president.
Well, as was pointed out, I mean, Nadler was talking about impeachment. I can't remember if it was Collins or if it was the Republican lawyer guy, but one of them pointed out to Nadler that he was talking about impeachment before anybody knew about Ukraine. A year ago, when they were still half-assed into Russia, this was an impeachment looking for a crime rather than a crime looking for an impeachment. And this is not a good standard to set. It's not, in my opinion. But I talked about that on there, as well as some other news stories that were going on. What else? George Zimmerman, for instance, is suing the family of Trayvon Martin for $100 million.
That's not a good look.
Yeah, he's suing them and the city, and I forget who else, saying that the girl who was on the phone with Trayvon right before he got into the fight and got shot, that she lied and that they helped spread that lie and it tarnished his reputation. Like, George, just shut up and go away.
Yeah.
Just shut up and go away. But yeah, so we talked about that on there. And I may or may not do a game stream after this. The effects of taking 2 sets of pills is starting to kick in. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I can push through it or not. But with that, it's the humpetry time. And Satsu, you got some humpetry? You humped any trees today?
I hump trees far too often.
Whoa.
Let's see if it bore fruit. Let's see. I talked about people overreacting to the quote from the chick about Baron. Because if you guys actually looked in there, in that, like, people were just like, you know, chest puffed out, fucking silhouette in the background, outrage. Just like, calm down, relax. Like, it was stupid, it was tacky, it was ignorant, and it was uncalled for. But they didn't attack anybody. Like, relax, man. I get it, and the people who are offended on the base that, you know, you just brought up the kid's name in the first place, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking scummy, and it was planned and orchestrated and stupid, but not an attack. So, you know, just some of the usual suspects, just like kind of going off, and some people in particular who are very sensitive to those type of people who display that kind of outrage. You know, I'm just like, that's you right now. There was another one I saw about the Mandalorian. Now, all the articles that we've been seeing that have been coming out for this show is people being completely perplexed at the fact that this show is well received, at the fact that this show is being, you know, reviewed well. A lot of people are, and to the point where people are actually upset that people don't like it, like, because they're like, we can't fucking start an outrage mob if nobody's mad at the show. So, Comic Book Resources, yeah, the Twitter channel or whatever, Twitter page, says Cara Dune, or Kara, is it Cara or Kara?
It's Kara, but either way.
Cara Dune triggers outrage by being female in Star Wars. Now, the one example that I saw on their page isn't even a real page. It's actually a troll account, and that was pretty much their singular example of the entirety of the Star Wars universe and fan base being universally upset because a woman exists in a Star Wars movie. Not for any particular reason. Their narrative here is a female exists in a Star Wars movie, and it fucking inflamed the nation.
Or a troll account.
Or a singular troll account to try to verify our bullshit. So I said, translation, people love this show and it's pissing us off. So we searched the internet for a single human being that takes issue with this, and now we're pinning it on the entire community in a bullshit attempt to validate our bullshit narrative. And yep, that's about it. Because you couldn't even find a real example. Like, they are so fucking, they're like foaming at the mouth for people to be upset. And all the comments are really like, where? Who? It's like, we fucking love this character. We love this show. What the fuck are you talking about? It is interesting to actively see the media try to drum up bullshit, you know? Like, unapologetically and just like with no shame at all. It's hilarious, but also sad.
Well, you'd think it would be something to celebrate. It's like, oh, here's a show with a female character who is she's a warrior, and she took on the Mandalorian, and she defended a village and did all this heroic stuff, and people like her, and they're not complaining about her. Hey, it's a win. There's a strong female character. But no, we have to like point out that somebody doesn't like it, even though they're a fake person. Okay.
One person though, and then blame it on the entire Star Wars community.
Yes. Yep.
Because why the fuck not?
Yep.
Jeez. Let's see. What else did I see here today on the Twatters? There was something else. We talked about the Now This thing where they were talking about Facebook. Facebook is allowing the left's political opponents to do the same thing that they do.
Yeah.
Is that about it? Yeah. The comment I left on that, because I don't think I commented on it before, is help. They're stealing our brain dead voters that we train to listen and believe everything they see. Those are our sheep, goddammit, and Facebook is allowing them to take them away from us.
Nice.
It's just like, well, maybe maybe you should teach your followers not to listen to everything they see on the internet. It's so easy. It's really easy. I've gotten caught up in it. Everybody, I don't think there's a single person that I know who was in the political sphere who hasn't seen something and got caught up in a moment or a headline and just took it for face value when they could have, looked anywhere else. But it's very easy to remedy that, and that's don't fucking get outraged off of a fucking headline. Do more research if you're interested in the topic and build your opinion on that. It's like it's not that difficult, but your followers aren't trained to do that. They are trained to listen and believe at all times, and if they don't, they are lambasted for it. And this is the result. You create sheep. They follow whoever's fucking leading. That's what they're for. That's literally what you created them to do. But you're just like, well, they're only supposed to follow us. I'm like, well, maybe you should have some tastier bait for these fucking sheep, because they ain't following you no more, and now you're upset. Let's see what else. I think there was one. Oh, the food stamp thing. Yeah, I already ranted about that because that did piss me off. A whole bunch of employed people getting pissed off about this when it has absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. Fucking idiots. But yeah, that's all my fucking truth.
All right, and Scribbles, what you got?
Not a whole lot. I did reverse engineer a promoted tweet from an entity today for the sake of humor. I said, me, come up with a veiled euphemism about machine-assisted sexual intercourse. Bloomberg technology. Robots will guide you between gates so you never miss a connecting flight. That was my smart-ass remark for the day. Otherwise, let's see. Speaking of Star Wars, several things from an interview with J.J. Abrams that came out today. So this is the tweet from Fandom, which is I guess a media site or something. And it says, J.J. Abrams says The Rise of Skywalker will introduce new force powers. Quote, it was really important that we not just redo the things you've seen, but add new elements, which we knew will infuriate some people and thrill others, unquote. And I said, because there was no way to be clever or creative with the force powers already established. I mean, telekinesis, lightning, precognition, enhanced physicality. How droll. I also saw the new James Bond trailer. And my very first reaction after watching it, and the only thing that I really came away from it was, I said, I don't know, some of that dialogue smells a bit like canned ham. But then I haven't been all that jazzed about the Craig era Bond to begin with. The bits and pieces of dialogue and one-liners they put into that trailer, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, and I don't know if it's just the fact that they were, in some instances, kind of out of context, I suppose. They just felt so forced and so, like, produced. I don't know how else to put it. It just sounded like buzz phrases, you know? Mm-hmm. It didn't sound like actual dialogue, even from something like a Bond movie. I was just like, huh? So I haven't watched a Bond movie since, God, I think I know I saw all of Casino Royale, and I've seen bits or pieces of the various movies that have come out since, but I haven't been either interested in or enthused by the storyline or the character of the Daniel Craig Bond. I don't know if I'm just old-fashioned. I mean, I truth be told, save for GoldenEye, the other Pierce Brosnan movies didn't really thrill me all that much. It kind of like worn itself out at that point. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really strike me as interesting. Then there was something else that kind of happened late in the day, but I'm sure that Monkey will bring that up in his, so I'm going to set that aside. The other thing was, so for those of you who are gamers out there, you may remember a video game, or actually I guess there's two of them now, from many, many years ago that are kind of classics for some nerdy gamers out there. They are American McGee's Alice and Alice Madness Returns, these very dark, twisted versions of the Alice in Wonderland story that were very popular video games when I was growing up on the computer. They were produced by a guy whose name is American McGee. So it was interesting today when he tweeted out this. From his account, he says, so at Gustavo Canine does a Let's Play of my Alice Madness Returns, which is deemed original content, so I get multiple copyright notifications on a Let's Play of a video game of my own. This is how the system is meant to work, Team YouTube and YouTube Gaming. Madness returns indeed. And the funny thing was their response to this. YouTube replied back, thanks for bringing this to our attention. If you feel your video was claimed in error, you can dispute it here. We also have a handy guide for copyright content. Let us know if you have any other questions. And he says in capital letters, my name is on the box. Are you effing kidding me? It says it, I mean, it's always said it, an American McGee game on every copy of that game ever produced. And he says, further proof we're living in idiocracy. And I just thought that is horrific and brilliant at the same time. And my response was a little bit redundant, but I said, geez, American McGee, how dare you try to take credit for someone else's Let's Play footage of a game you created? Shame, shame. Good on Team YouTube and YouTube Gaming for keeping people honest.
Oh, jeez.
And oh, wait, I got one other thing. So I don't know the context, but I guess it's a general statement. Weibo tweeted out earlier, last time, you are not oppressed because women won't flash their jiggle bits at you. And I said, oppressed? No. Deprived? Probably. Because if I'm deprived of jiggle bits, well, I mean, somebody's probably trying to get her to send them nudes or something.
Yeah, and who's trying to see Weibo's boobies?
Hopefully her boyfriend, but outside of that,
And knock it off, weirdos.
Yeah, but that is all of my. Well, it's not all of my fucketry, but it's all the ones that I will talk about because I'm sure you've got. Monkey and I have a duo one to talk about. I think.
Well, I think that sucks that happened to the dude who created the game or whatever.
Yeah.
But that is a really prime example, like that we could use, like a very tangible and visible thing where we can say, YouTube, stop bullshitting us, telling us that this system, is working properly, or that you actually have people look at these claims. Like you don't. It's fucking bull. There's no way, unless you hire idiots on purpose. Which go ahead and let us know.
No, that's not true. Susan just told us on 60 Minutes the other night that, she was actually asked by Leslie Stahl, who said, I hear the people who have to review your videos can sometimes get wrapped up in it and they get really depressed and stuff.
Oh,
Susan
Lord.
said, yeah, we have counselors on hand. They have to watch the videos for 5 hours of their 8-hour shift, and they can take a break whenever they want to if it gets to be too much. So they're there. They're there, Satsu.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was, you know what? Nope. Don't do it, Satsu.
The Babylon Bee, keeping up their streak of being far funnier than the Onion, tweeted out today. In new episode, the Mandalorian has to protect Baby Yoda from being ruined by Rian Johnson.
Oh, yeah. He wants to direct an episode, either this or the next season.
Yeah.
Now, see, here's the thing. Rian Johnson as a director isn't bad. Just don't let him write anything. It's sort of like George Lucas. George Lucas can be a decent director as long as he's not the one writing it.
But directors can change what was written.
They can, true.
They can insist on a rewrite how they want it. I get what you're saying.
It depends on whether or not the director has that power in their contract or not. Directors don't necessarily have godlike power over everything.
Oh, that reminds me of a meme I saw earlier that said it was a fake article, said the Mandalorian deeply regrets feeding Baby Yoda after midnight, and they had a picture of the the evil gremlin on his face. I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Chris Eliza tweeted out today that he was watching the House Judiciary Committee impeachment hearing, so you don't have to.
Oh, well, thanks, Chris. Very kind of you.
You know what that translates to? I'm gonna, orchestrate and narrate this story however I want to. So be sure not to watch it so you can't correct me.
Yeah, even if you are going to read Chris's take on it, please search out at least one other.
Yeah.
Even if it's still from CNN, please search out another, because that man's a fucking moron. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. There was Eric Swalwell. Yeah. There was a great thing that happened in the impeachment hearing today. Right when they went to their long break, right after Swalwell gets off the microphone that's out in the hallway for him, Ted Deutsch, I think is how you're supposed to say his name. I call him Ted Douche.
Mm-hmm.
And this chick with the longest chin I've ever seen in my life.
Huh.
It literally sticks out farther than her nose.
Okay.
They all get up to the microphone. And Ted Deutsch, he said that the ranking member keeps saying that they don't agree on the facts. And then he goes on to use the what is it, March 25th, May 25th, whatever day that phone call was, the one that Trump released the transcript of.
July 25th.
July 25th, thank you. You'll see we agree on this is the facts. It wasn't 15 minutes earlier that the ranking member, Doug Collins, used that exact example to say we all agree on the facts. If you guys think these guys don't have their minds made up already, you're just wrong. And it was funny because just before that, Ted Lieu had been asked, do you think the Mueller report should be used in the impeachment, in the articles of impeachment?
Mm-hmm.
And Ted's like, well, we haven't made up our mind to actually impeach yet. So that's a little bit, premature. He said that.
Come on.
You lying fuck.
And honestly, the answer should be yes, because the more, and I've said this how many times now, the more easily arguable case against Trump comes from the obstruction case in the Mueller report or from the Mueller report. You can make a much clearer and cleaner line of action and obstruction on Trump from that report versus this Ukraine business. It's just the facts. I don't understand why they chose Ukraine over that in the first place, honestly.
And Becky, you're right. Minds were made up as soon as he was elected. Some of them campaigned on it. You're right. But anyway, Cory Booker tweeted out today, there are more billionaires than black people who've made the December debate stage. That's a problem.
What?
Are any of those billionaires not white by any chance? Like Chinese or Carlos Slim, or what the fuck is he talking about?
I'm really confused.
He's talking about the fact that he hasn't made the debate stage. Kamala Harris has dropped out. So there's not going to be any black people on the debate stage.
Did he not qualify?
Unless he's still got some time, apparently not.
I didn't know he hadn't qualified. I thought he had. Oh, what about Julian Castro? What about I know Tulsi probably didn't. She's still.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
wow. Okay, I didn't know he didn't qualify. That's interesting.
Well, I went into quite a rant on this on the after party a little bit earlier. You guys were here for it. Cory was my candidate from the Democrats.
Yeah, mine too. I thought he was had the best shot.
Great speaker, very charismatic when he turns it on. But he's been flat in the debates, just absolutely flat. He's another one. Can you tell me what he stands for?
I mean, I could tell you what he stood for when he was mayor of Newark, probably more than I could for what he's running for president. And if he just changed the title he was running for at the time for mayor and used the same speeches from back in 2006 or whatever it was, he'd probably have a decent line going. But yeah, I was like, dude, you ran into a burning building to save people. You worked overtime trying to reform law enforcement in Newark. And I mean, it's arguable how successful you were, but there's no argument that you did your best. And I don't understand why he didn't come out as either a law enforcement candidate or something. I don't even know. It's been so bizarre to me. He was the one I thought that was going to be the standout.
Wasn't he another one of those? What are you going to do to help America? I'm going to beat Trump.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Pretty unfortunately, yeah.
And he was also another one who pulled a "Can't we all get along" during one of the debates. His most memorable moment in the debate was when he fucked up Spanish at the beginning of the first one.
Oh, dude.
I honestly thought, and I honestly was looking forward to seeing Cory Booker debate Trump on stage. I thought of all the candidates that had been announced at the time, Cory Booker would be the most interesting and probably the most dynamic to, if anyone was to face Trump at the point at which the candidates were coming out. I thought Cory would be great. And then he started campaigning. And I'm like, dude, where are you? Anyway.
Faithless, he says he's a jackass grandstander without a cause. This is Spartacus. Spartacus, get up there, man. Where's the Spartacus in you?
Yeah.
There is none. He's just boring and bland, man. And
yeah.
Dude, the problem is not black versus billionaire. It's you're boring as fuck and you have no platform.
Yeah, I may not agree with every passionate stance he takes, but I'll tell you what, the guy had passion.
Take a stance, for fuck's sake.
Please.
Well, that was Kamala's issue too, and that's the thing that really pissed me off in these conversations about they just didn't like them because they're black. And then you ask the person, what was their positions? Like, why were you going to vote for them? And they're just like, well, they wanted to get rid of Trump, and Trump's America, it's evil, and you see what he's doing to this country. That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you anything about Trump. I asked you, what was their platform, and why were you going to vote for them specifically? Well, they're Negroes, of course. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, go sit down somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. That's all you got. One's black and male, one's black and female, and that's it. That's all that's one or the other. But other one has more oppression points, so we got to hold them up a little bit higher. But other than that, you got nothing else.
There's two more I need to get into, and one of them is kind of long. So sorry, chat. We're going to cut into your time just a little bit tonight. The first one is from Christopher Cuomo.
Quiz.
Y'all know him, right? Fredo?
Quiz. What about Quiz?
Chris tweeted this out tonight in response to the whole Barron thing. He tweeted out 2 obvious points. Going after kids is rightly a no-no in politics. And this first point would have had more weight here, if not for the obvious. The husband of Melania, who rightly calls for us to be #BeBest, is too often at his absolute worst, disrespecting everyone and anyone. If you didn't catch what Fredo said there, he said, yeah, we shouldn't go after kids, but since his dad's a dick, that's it. That's what he said.
Yeah. The first point would be relevant, but throw your morals out the window because of this situation.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, fuck his kid. Nobody cares.
Now, I tweeted out, dear God, you're an asshole. Because I feel like that sums it up pretty well. And somebody got mad at me for that. They said, he wasn't attacked. I said, no, he was used to attack his dad. And he was. It was a cheap shot at his father, which is actually what I said. He was used to take a cheap shot at his dad. And they got very, very mad at me because I wouldn't care if it happened to anyone else. Like, fuck you.
How do you don't fuck with
because I called Chris Cuomo an asshole, which he obviously was with his statement. Whether Barron was actually attacked or not is irrelevant to what Chris said there. Chris took a position that it's okay to attack a child if his dad's an asshole. Yeah. That's the position he took.
Sins of the father.
But yeah, I've always been that way. You don't attack the kids. I don't care if it's Obama's kids, Bush's kids, Clinton's kids. You don't. I mean, it's okay to attack Chelsea now. She's in the public light. It's okay to Hunter Biden. He's fine. He's a grown-ass adult. You don't attack underage kids or even adult kids who haven't put themselves out there as political figures. Once they do that, that's fine. I'm sorry, what?
Or just mention or reference them at all on a like even if it's like, because I personally don't think that her statement itself, like I said, I don't think it was attack. I don't think it was an attack. I don't think it was as bad as everybody's saying it is, but it's still tacky. I'm like, why?
Mhm.
What is the reason? You have to actually lay out a legitimate reason for you to bring that up, or explain to me why you could not make your point without doing so. Because if you don't have a reason, then you're just an asshole. That's all that's left.
And that's what it is. You're absolutely right. It wasn't that bad of an attack. It was just she was being an asshole.
Right.
She invoked his son's name to take a cheap shot at him. You can't make a Baron. Ha ha ha. Shut up, bitch. Which, by the way, is the right response to what she said.
Now imagine what the kids in school, at his school, are like. You
Yeah.
hear what that bitch said about you on TV?
Yep. But again, Chris's point is that it's okay to attack a child if you don't like his dad.
That's basically what he said. And for some reason, they think that first statement that he made somehow makes it better, but that makes it worse. The fact that you said, like, I understand that this is a bad thing to do, but I'm going to tell you it's okay, knowing the fact that it's bad, specifically because I'm a piece of shit. It's like you should have just said the other thing. You should have just said it's okay to talk shit about Trump's kid. That would have been better than saying, I know this is a bad thing to do, but you should do it anyway.
Well, it's effectively the, I don't know, moral statement equivalent of that lawyer's apology.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like we can't just say, regardless of the circumstances or the person involved, the adult involved, this is a bad thing and it should be discouraged from being part of the discourse. No, we have to somehow give exception to it and also make a target of Trump at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That statement was basically the I don't want to be racist, but
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Basically, yeah. It's like, I don't want to say bad things about kids in a context that doesn't involve them, but in this case, it's kind of understandable.
it's like, come on, dude.
Now, I'm sorry, guys. I want to get to this last one, and this is why I'm cutting into your question time, because it's kind of important. A point was brought up to me, Satsu, and Scribe on Twitter. Somebody tweeted at us. Non-Vitae Rex, thank you so much. He did the same thing with Antifa. He's a douche. He's an asshole. Chris Cuomo's an asshole. He just is. But this was brought to our attention by Jedi Ghost Bear. It's a comment from Vernaculus. It says, am I going insane if the president outsources important U.S. foreign policy business to his private lawyer, then his lawyer should not be considered a private citizen anymore, and instead a public representative of the president that can be investigated.
Mm-hmm.
Basically meaning if the president sends Rudy Giuliani over to Kiev and has him conducting business for him, that makes him a government employee rather than just the government or the president's private lawyer. Now, we had some back and forth on this, me and Scribbles, and then things just took a weird turn. For the record, we were talking about checks and balances of whether or not you can, because government employees can be investigated by Congress, a federal employee, the executive branch. There's oversight there. That's what they're there for, oversight. And as Scribe pointed out, if Rudy Giuliani's not subject to that, it's kind of a loophole that lets the president do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I agree.
Am I getting your argument pretty much down there, Scribbles?
Yeah, so okay. So if I'm the president of the United States and I empower a private citizen to go forth in my name to conduct business on my behalf that is tied to my role as the executive, but that person I call my personal lawyer and then claim that I have attorney-client privilege over anything that was said to them, anything they did, any communications I have, then by that logic, the president could create any number of private agents who exist outside congressional oversight to conduct business from the executive branch, which is obviously, well, I'm not a lawyer, So I can't say it's inherently a violation of the Constitution, but it sure as heck tries to operate outside the checks and balances intended by the Constitution if the Congress can't oversight it. So my only theory, and I kind of discussed it with Monkey before the show, is if you have a private lawyer, so for the sake of argument, there's Donald Trump and then there's the president. If your lawyer is Donald Trump's lawyer, then any business they are conducting has to be on a personal level, unattached to the business of the president.
Right.
Now, how do you oversight that if you're calling executive, or not executive, but attorney-client privilege? How do you determine whether what Rudy Giuliani is doing is executive level business or Trump level business? And the only theory I could come up with that would still act as a buffer without inherently violating attorney-client privilege is that if the president does this, then the office of the general counsel, if I'm saying that correctly, within the White House, within the executive, would have to act as someone who oversees the president's personal legal business, because then they are both, attorney-client privilege to the executive. If it turns out to be executive business, they can't talk about it either. But if it turns out to be stuff that isn't executive business, but it's being used as such, then they would have to report it to Congress. That's the only theory I could think of as some kind of check and balance within the executive. Of course, like I said to Monkey, that's sort of like having the wolves oversee the hen house, but I couldn't think of another established functionary where you could make that determination. But it is, like I say, it's an interesting question. But here's the thing. It's not a question inherently about Trump. It's a question about executive power, regardless of who's in the office.
And that was my comeback, because my comeback has nothing to do with it. To me, the attorney-client privilege is where you start. That's where it's like, I don't know where you decide personal ends and federal business begins, and who gets to make that decision.
Right.
Are you leaving that up to Congress, and then they can pry into stuff they're not supposed to be into? And I don't have a good answer to it. But it was we were having an interesting discussion. And then somebody got mad at us. Somebody got mad at us because they thought that we were bashing Trump, I guess. Seemed to be what it looked like.
Maybe just like, this is a problem because Trump's doing it and other people have done similar things.
Well, this is the reply we got. Using an ex-British spy to get a dossier of dirt on Trump from Russia, and Hillary went to jail, right? Like, nobody said anything about that. Hillary wasn't president. The DNC wasn't president. They weren't using a private lawyer. And as Scribe said, this isn't about Trump.
Yeah.
And there's a flip side to Trump derangement syndrome. For everybody out there who thinks Trump is just orange man bad, there's some people out there who are orange man good. Not every argument is about that. Not every argument is whether or not Trump is a good person or a good president. This was a deeper level conversation about whether or not the president can have a personal lawyer go do federal business for him.
And not have oversight.
Yeah, exactly. Without oversight. That's the important part. Without oversight. It doesn't matter what president. Clinton, Bush, Obama, it doesn't matter. And just try to pay attention to the argument that's actually being made, guys. Don't let your own political bias get in the way of that. Because sometimes very good conversations come out of that. Conversations that, frankly, I think need to be had.
And here's the thing. If Clinton did do the same thing, I don't know if he did or not, but let's say he did. Is that right? Should that have been allowed? Is that constitutional? Is it legal? Two wrongs don't make a right. So just because somebody else did it, so why are you talking about Trump? Well, isn't that exactly the same point? If it's bad for them to have done it, why wouldn't it be bad or questionable for Trump to have done it?
Or if you're going to bring up Clinton, tell me why it was okay for Clinton to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
Yeah, I saw that conversation going on, and like I said, I'm not super versed on everything that goes on, but yeah, I'm leaning more with Scribe, where I think at that point where we're asking those questions, we're too far ahead. we've gone too far. Like there are, I think, two situations that need to be solved before we even get to asking that question. And that is whether or not it's okay for Trump to do that in the first place, and what type of rules should be, set, or precedent should be set when it comes to you using your personal lawyer in that way. Because I feel like if we don't have an answer to that, then talking about the rest of it, like we're ahead of the game at that point, because we need to determine whether or not that should even be a thing that he should be able to do. And I know some people are saying like, well, Trump has his own private life. And I'm like, that's fine, but he's using that private part of his life to handle federal business. And that don't seem like something he should be doing.
Yeah. And things like this, questions like this, these sort of abstract legal / moral principle questions. I'm only vested in it, honestly, in this one in particular, because of the mental exercise of thinking about, like, well, let's take that scenario and think about it for a second. Is that right? Would that be in accordance with our ideals and the Constitution and everything else? I don't know that it'll ever be answered. I don't know that this impeachment inquiry will even come close to even answering the question or setting a precedent. But it's an interesting thing to talk about, and I kind of enjoy the gamesmanship of it. That's all.
Yeah. And Shroom in chat is giving his opinion of it. And Shroom, I enjoyed our discussion. You stayed right on the discussion. So yeah. I had fun with it. And if you want to continue it over there, I'm fine to do that over there too. I mean, you can keep talking here. That's fine. But I enjoyed that discussion. It was interesting. But with that, we are going to move on to YouTube, not YouTube time. God damn. I'm sorry, guys. I'm barely holding on here.
He's high, guys.
Question time. That's what it is. Questions, comments, concerns. Throw them into chat now. I will do my damnedest to fucking read them all, guys. I will do what I can. But again, that's not it. Please, if you guys have comments about what I say on Twitter, by all means, jump in. I'm not mad at anybody for anything that happened. I was just weirded out by how it took a sudden turn there. Have you seen? Oh wait, do you guys think the Groypers are hurting or helping Turning Point USA? And what's your view on Turning Point USA banning them from asking questions? Wow, that's a whole lot of question in one, Toasted. Do I think Groypers are hurting or helping Turning Point? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to anything that has been really going on there much. What's my view of Turning Point? I think they're a decent enough organization, at least getting college kids under the impression they can be conservative without having to hate gay people. And them banning people from asking questions. Unfortunately, when you go out there and you be a dickbag, nobody wants to hear from you anymore. That's just how it is. So how about this? Instead of going out there with these gotcha questions like how is getting fucked in the ass a conservative value? How about go out there and have an actual conversation? Go out there and ask a real question.
How is getting fucked in the ass a conservative value? Well, it saves sex for marriage.
Well, the actual question is anal sex. Anal sex.
Oh, same difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Same difference, And
again, I would fire back, how's eating bacon one? If you're going to sit there and take that part of your Bible, you better take the whole damn thing. Have you seen the original 1939 of Mice and Men? No. I've read the book. I haven't seen any production of it.
I believe I saw the old black and white version. I believe I did see that a long time ago. Uh-oh.
That sounds like a Squeetus.
Is that a Squeetus?
Yeah, Squishy.
That or something's going wrong with Satsu.
Oh, Squeetus.
Satsu's malfunctioning over here.
Squeetus has something to say, everybody.
Hi, baby. Say hello. Say hello, Squeetus.
Hi to
Don't
Squeetus.
smile at me. Say hello.
Aww.
Okay. I realize you're using some pet names here, but I'm going to fix that so people understand the question. If Sanders called Trump the dumbest person on earth, does that make Sanders the idiot to suffer most from Trump derangement syndrome? No, I think he's playing to his crowd.
Yeah.
I think he's wrong.
He's saying what people want to hear. He's a politician. I don't know.
Yeah. He's trying to get his name in the news, man. And how do you do that? Exactly. You
Yes.
throw a
Sweetest knows
fit.
exactly. Yes.
The commentary is priceless, little one.
Oh, Lods, Meowie Christmas. Would you
Mm.
try a pineapple glazed ham with baby red mashed potatoes and smoked onion relish garnish? Holy shit, that's like a real food, dude.
That almost sounds good.
Right.
Yeah,
Mata,
sure.
you okay?
Yeah, I know. This isn't like you didn't say something like, would you rather have a honey glazed ham or a can of diesel oil?
I gotta try that, of course. That sounds good. Dead Island or Witcher 3? To be honest, I haven't played enough of Witcher 3 to give you an opinion. I liked Dead Island, though.
Dead Island was fun. Witcher 3 was not my scene, but it looks like a fun game. Oh yeah, Cryptic asked me, did the box come in? I didn't see it. No, I didn't get any notifications or anything about any packages.
Thank you, Cryptic. Oh yeah, did the box come in, Satsu? Remember how everyone forgot that Obama suppressed criminal evidence with Fast and Furious, gun running to cartels with executive privilege? That actually was brought up in the hearing today. Republican guy, the Republican the law professor. He's not Republican. I
Jonathan Turley.
Turley, thank you.
Yes.
The one for the Republicans. He actually brought that up. Oddly enough, I didn't see the Democrats respond to it.
Hey, Squeedy.
What games are you looking forward to streaming, Monkey? Oh man. I don't know. I don't even know what's coming out. What's coming up? I hope we get a chance to stream the new Raft. I don't know if the story mode can be played in. Did you get to play that today, Satsu?
I was trying to play it today, but this new mouse that I got, the sensitivity is crazy high, and I don't know how to fix that. Like I went into
your settings, mouse, and turn down sensitivity.
I did, but there was no setting to turn down sensitivity. They had every other setting you could possibly think of, except turning down the sensitivity. So I'm like, do I have to like download proprietary software for this gaming mouse, or I don't know, but I'm gonna look again because I was having a hard time playing the game. Well, I turned the sensitivity down in the game and that fixed it, but still outside of the game, when I'm trying to like, if I try to click an icon on my computer, I have to like inch this thing like really slowly to like not pass it up. So I'm trying to figure that out real quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Don't scratch me.
Yeah, I'm not sure where else the setting would be. Where are we?
He just like grabbed my whole eye and just like dug in. Oh, what is wrong with you?
I love you, Daddy.
It's cereal soup, of course.
Of course. Is a horse of a horse? What? No.
Yeah. Wait, there's a movie of Mice and Men. Since when? There's like several.
Oh yeah, there's the John Malkovich and Gary Sinise version, which is great.
You know what? I did see that one. I did.
Yeah,
see
that one's really good. Yeah, John Malkovich as Lenny is. I mean, that is a tragic fucking story, no matter how you cut it.
It really is.
Yeah.
Is there a button on the mouse for DPI? I don't know.
Words of the night. Does anyone else think it's peculiar? Beau Biden's son is named after Robert Hunter Biden. Maybe there needs to be another paternity test and child support payment.
Oh,
he's broke, man.
Oh, wouldn't that be awful?
Look.
Oh no.
There's rumors they were boinking before he died. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's true, but oh, God bless. Oh Lords, have you heard the Kool-Aid Man has been arrested on 68 counts of destruction of property and 5 counts of federal destruction of property? No, I didn't hear.
Also home invasion.
Oh no.
Yeah. Where are we? It jumped, and then I fixed it, and it jumped again. What is the brand or the model and brand of your mouse? God damn.
It is a Razer, I think. Hold on. Where's that box? Oh, let me find the box real quick. I'll tell you. Where'd it go? I didn't throw it away. Oh, here it is.
While you're doing that, Angry Illinoisan says, "Can we see the darling, sweet little girl?"
Yeah, it's a Razor Death Adder Elite.
Wow. Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't mean to be rude or try to pull a gotcha, but didn't you criticize Democrats for saying you can't criticize David Hogg because he's a kid? This is one of those things where you have to listen to everything that's said.
Right.
I'm not being mean there. You need to listen to everything that's said. David Hogg was in the spotlight giving political commentary.
Yeah, he put himself out there as a public figure to make a statement about something political.
Barron did not.
Yeah.
This is the same thing because I saw people with Greta Thunder Thighs. I don't know what her name is. It's like, but Trump criticized her. Actually, he made one smart ass remark. But again, this is a kid who's happily in the spotlight, talking politics. There's a difference between just grabbing a kid who's somebody's child and responding to somebody who's talking political shit.
Ironically enough, asking to be treated as an adult so far as, saying that they should be able to vote in the next election. Like,
oh yes,
literally begging to be treated and responded to as adults. And the media was literally saying these kids know more than us. So
was Hogg 18 at the time, or was he still a minor when he was out there?
He was 17. He turned 18 like 2-3 months later, I think it was. He wasn't far from 18 when it all started.
So for the majority of his celebrity, he's been a legal adult. So, and yeah, I mean, Barron Trump is not going out there making political statements to anybody at all. So, yeah. And besides which, attacking somebody's kid because you don't like the parent is the premise we're working with here.
Right. Thank you, Cody Fry, who says, "Just some guy. Do you have a favorite comic book hero? I'm also curious what Scribe and Ranting Monkey have to say on the matter." Thank you for the donation. I think he meant just some black guy. Satsu,
what's up?
Do you have a favorite comic book hero?
Not really.
Scribbles?
Well, the Punisher is probably my all-time favorite overall, at least in its classic iteration, the character of the Punisher.
For me, Spider-Man, and again, that goes back before the Clone Saga.
Yes. Oh, the Clone Saga ruined Spider-Man for me forever, practically. And I thankfully I'd stopped collecting the comics by the time they got around to One More Day, because I would have just thrown a fit if I had been collecting comics at the time.
I think I found it, guys. Thank you.
Cool. Nothing for you here says, if you could fold space-time into a hole and fuck it, would you?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Is space-time a chick? I ain't fucking no dude. Oh, speaking of that, I meant to bring this up earlier. Jessica Yaniv has deleted that tweet where she said she was going to go report the thing. Yeah. Not sure why. Is cereal soup? Of course.
Again?
Yes.
All right.
Remember that Kool-Aid game for Atari? Yes, Pat, I do actually.
Oh
yeah.
The dog.
Here's the little one.
Do you remember the 7-Up Spot game for Nintendo?
I do.
Yeah, Pepsi game and all those games. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Noid game as well.
Yes, there was. Oh, the Noid. Avoid the Noid.
Have you shopped at Boscov's?
Never heard of it. As far as I know, anyway.
No idea what that is. Is Bosco's the place? Did they maybe hit an extra button?
Bosco's.
I don't know.
Bosco's chicken waffles.
Is soup cereal when it's cereal? Not all soup is cereal, of course. But you could eat it for breakfast if you wanted to. I mean, oh damn, my whole thing just froze up. Sanguine, thank you so much. Now that would be a big bang. Well played, sir. Well played indeed. Thank you so much for the donation.
Ding 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 ding.
Where are we at here? Yeah, it was stuck at the bottom and then it just this fucking thing. YouTube, fix yo shit. God damn. You guys continuously mentioning it jumps. How does the chat jump? Okay, check your logic. Scroll up and try to keep it there and then just scroll down a tiny bit and you'll see it'll jump all the way to the end of the chat.
Yeah, because they assume like that's where you want to go. We're helping. And I'm like, no, you're not.
RJ asked me again what game I'm looking forward to streaming. I would love to stream Red Dead 2. It's out on Steam now. I don't have it yet, though. I probably won't be able to get it till after the first of the year. I want to stream Kerbal just because it's a lot of fun. I get lost in that game. That could be like a 12-hour stream if I'm not paying attention.
She is staring into y'all's soul right now.
Hi, beautiful. Reach behind your daddy and smack him for me.
No.
I don't remember what. You know what? For him not listening to me.
Oh, wow.
You don't listen to me.
Don't teach my little one to be violent.
All right, so just so I know, Monkey, is Squeetus your personal attorney and you're sending her on a mission on your behalf?
But,
okay.
But we have
Yes.
attorney-client privilege, so
Yeah.
you can't ask me about that.
Yeah, so Squeetus, you can't say anything about this, okay?
Black Romeo says, just some guys at Comic Channel. Was that what he meant? Maybe.
Like, don't worry, I don't talk much.
Could be. I just assumed it was some black guy because that's one of the first things that me and Satsu ever talked about was how you'll tell somebody he's a YouTuber and they'll go, oh, some black guy? And he's like, no. That guy T? No.
Preston?
I'm that other black guy on YouTube.
There's only 3 of them on the whole internet.
Yeah.
Just some guy's a YouTuber who reviews comics and happens to share a similar physical color to Satsu. Okay, so Cody Fry, I didn't know. I'm sorry, but so he did mean that. Who remembers Ames and Bradley's?
Ames and I am not one of those people, I guess.
Weren't those department stores?
I suppose. I don't know.
If you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say?
Got it.
Got it.
Got it.
Just let it happen. In that voice.
The pink tax isn't real.
Got it.
Frosted asked NGZN or NGZ out. I don't know what that whole NG thing is. I don't know. So I'm sorry, guys.
Neon Genesis Evangelion? Is that what you're talking about?
Never give Zoe Negroes.
What?
Well, she kills white people. Is soup serious? Yeah, it's a serious conversation around these parts. People take they get mad. Oh, Lords, would you try a vanilla roasted walnut dessert bread? Mata, what is wrong with you? You're asking real foods tonight. Vanilla roasted walnut dessert bread? That sounds good as shit.
I think Mata got food poisoning and was just like, all right, I need to stop fucking around.
I'm like, we gotta start eating real foods.
No, this weird shit. Tell him,
Squeetus.
I'm almost to the bottom for real this time.
Squeetie pie.
Scribe Light, would you rather go on a date with she venom or get the hair on your head waxed? Oh, fuck.
Buy she venom?
If it's an agreed upon date with she venom, then she venom.
You ever had any hair waxed?
Well, one time I had I forget who it was. Somebody had one of those little patches things that people use.
Yeah.
And as a joke, they put it on my leg and just ripped off a patch of hair. It was terrible.
That shit hurt.
Absolutely terrible. Yeah. And this was like when I was in college or something. It was just like one of those prank things, and it was terrible. I was like, ow, God. So I after that experience, I was like, I have a new appreciation for what women do to keep themselves looking all feminine and stuff.
Yeah, Lady Monkey had one of those kind of things back in high school. She did a little, maybe 2 inches by an inch on my leg.
Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Hell no.
Yeah.
I'll be hairy. Fuck it. Where are we at here? We had a question. No, there we go. Has that guy T given up YouTube? I'm not sure.
What are you doing? Use your legs.
Would you try Sir Stroming Satsu? I don't know
what that is.
What would you rather do if your family asked you to go crazy? I don't understand the question.
Nani?
Dr. No says Botscob's is a department store similar to Macy's. Oh, no. That's way above my budget, man.
Macy's.
You gotta give me, bless you.
Bless
You gotta give
you,
me something
Peter.
similar to Walmart if you want me to shop there. I've been to Kmart. How about that? I remember Kmart.
The last bastion of layaway.
Is it bad that my mother didn't wish me a happy birthday, but my ex-husband did? It's weird.
That is odd.
Well, it depends. How old's your mom? I mean, maybe she's tired and went to sleep early and forgot.
I have a daughter.
What? Ooh,
I didn't mean that.
where?
But however, guys, did you see Milo's video exposing Rob Smith? No, but I'll check it out. I'll look for Milo.
Oh, Milo.
I know Milo was on Ralph's stream the other night, and I still want to check that out.
I haven't thought of a mile in a while.
Guys, it's the end of the show.
Oh my God.
Into the
I
show.
know.
Yes.
And I caught up to all the questions that were asked by the time I said it's the end of the show. So I feel good about myself right now, especially considering I'm high as fuck, y'all. Don't double take your medicine. That's what I want to send out tonight. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are incredibly generous, and I appreciate it more than I can ever express. You guys are amazing, and thank you for just the way you come out and support us. Speaking of which, don't forget to come support us tomorrow night on Satsu's channel. Satsu 2 cents. He has like 3 channels. So Satsu 2 cents at 9 p.m. Eastern time for more Lords of the Night. Gentlemen, Scribe, Satsu, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Mhm.
Bye,
Say back.
everyone. Your lives make us sad, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Squeezing that baby.
Bye.